Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Sa sinabi ko kagabi, nagpapahinga lang ako kanina kasi ang aga-aga kong nagising. Dahil, Miss Tina Cano. Ay, mabuti nakarating ka dito. Whitey man, yes! Whitey man, yes! Okay, so, kagabi, nung nag-live ako, sinabi ko, sa paghuli kung ano ba yung maganda ang isyo. Makinig lang po. Sinabi ko kagabi, tayong mga reactionist ay parang mga attorney sa loob ng kalinga. Di po ba? No? Makinig lang po. Hello, Alex. Hi, may galap siya sa inyo, no? Oy, Miss Tina Cano, namamalat pa ako. Ginising mo ako ng maaga. Yung 2 oras ang tulog ko. Ako. Ganyan talaga pag kulang ka ng tulog. Good morning po, Te, at sa lahat, I'm listening, Te. Okay. So, makinig po kayo po. Medyo mababa ang boses ko ngayon dahil siyempre pagod pa si Queen of all social media. At dito po tayo magkakaroon ng konting ideas. Okay. Konting ideas. Mga reactionist ng Kalingap ay may karapatan magbigay ng reaction. Una sa lahat, para ito sa iyo, Romson. Kung hindi mo kaya ang mga reactionist sa buong Kalingap, ay umalis ka na. Dahil, alam mo, Romson, ang dami ilang balding luha ng pinagdaanan ko dito bago ako nakarating sa status na ganito. At ngayon nagiging matapang na ako, ay ituturo ko naman sa iyo. Kaya wag po ikaw balat sibuyas. Okay po? So ngayon, lahat kaming mga reactionist sa buong Kalingap ay para kaming mga lawyers, mga attorney na nagkuro-kuro at nagbibigay ng mga reaction sa bawat galaw ng isang miyembro ng Kalingap. Ki unikap ka man, ki karipa ka man, ki ano ka man, basta nasa loob ka ng Kalingap, mari-reactionan ka kung mali ang iyong mga ginagawa. Dahil may patakaran po tayo, may guidelines po tayo. Okay? Nandiyan na tayo. Okay po? Ngayon, gumagawa ka pa rin ng mga videos kahit na pinagsabihan ka ng maraming mga reactionist, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga Karipa members, no? Na ito'y bawal. Para bagang nilalapastanganan mo ang mga matubang family. Bakit? Lumakas ang loob mo dito. Bakit? Dahil ba, feeling mo napakalakas ng mga defender mo? Pera-pera lang yan, di po ba? Hindi mo ba na-realize, Romson, na baka naman nasusulsulan ka, na keep on doing it, keep in doing it. Baka naman ay ginagawa kang panggato. Think before you act. Romson, kinig ka. Think before you act. Na baka ikay ginamit lamang po ng iyong mga defender. Nakala mo'y napakalakas at malalakihang mga YouTuber. In the end, you will be the one falling onto the ground, not them. Not them, hindi sila. Kinig ka po. Mga hakbang na ginagawa mo, puro mali. Di ba sinasabi ko? Why is it good for Jose when it's not good for Pedro? Bakit ba good para sa iyo at hindi good sa iba? Ibang unicap na gumagawa ng reaction. Kasi may favoritism. May favoritism. Di po ba? Dito tayo mag-usap. Dahil ang mga backup mo, mga malalaking grupo at may mga nag-i-sponsor, okay lang yan. Pero ito, intindihin mo po. Romson, makinig ka. Patuloy mong gawin ang mga ginagawa mo sa paglalapas tangan sa guidelines at pulisya ng mga matubang, particular sa bawat grupo natin. Madidisiplina ka ng oras. Sir. Okay. Ngayon, dito naman tayo papasok sa mga defender. Patanong ko kayo, mga defender ha. Lalong-lalo na yung isa, yung pinakalas na nagreaksyon ay hindi na ako magpasaring. Ito'y para kay Michelle Japina. Matanong nga kita, Michelle Japina. Bakit ka ba napatawa ng parusa ng Karipa? Dahil hindi ka sumusunod sa patakaran at pulisya ng Karipa sa Kalingap reactionist. Hindi ka sumusunod. Ngayon, ituturo mo ito, iniingganyo mo si Romson na it's okay what he is doing. Ang ganda pa ng thumbnail mo para bagang kalaban mo si Romson. Pero but in your content, when you're actually looking at the content, you are favoritizing Romson for what he is doing, which is wrong. At ikaw, nasa Unicap. Ngayon, napatawan ka ng parusa sa Karipa. So, feeling mo, napakalakas mo na talaga para mag-back up at maging defender ni Romson. So, ngayon, ano ang halaga ng guidelines? What is the reason that there is guidelines, policies that should be followed? It should be followed by all, not just by some, not just by one, but by all. But if you are mismo as a Unicap officer and does not follow these very specific guidelines that actually are being implemented within the Kalingap, how do you expect that everyone will follow its guidelines to respect Balsados Matubang? Okay? What Romson, anong ginagawa ni Romson is not justifiable. Like I said last night, hindi justifiable yan. Diba no? Hindi justifiable yan. At huwag mong ipag-iitan na ang bawat, thank you Neri TV Studio, thank you talaga sa palipad mo po, appreciate it. Huwag mong ipagaya sa isang tao na ginagawa ninyong instrumento para labanan ang mga reactionist ng Karipa dahil nag-react laban doon sa ginagawang mali ng isang bagong Unicap member. Now, let's get into here. If you do really care for Romson, kayong mga defender, lahatin ko na kayo. Kung kayo'y nag-care kay Romson, imbes na dinipinsahan ninyo si Romson, sabihin, uy, tama talaga yung mga ginagawa mo, Romson, yung tama yung mga sinasabi ng mga Karipa, dito, tutulungan ka namin, ganito yon. Itong dapat mong gawin, ito. Okay? You should be an example, an exemplary ng isang Unicap officer, Michelle Japina. You should be a good example to those being new in Unicap to follow the Unicap guidelines and policies. But what have you done? Huh? Instead, you justify his mistake. Instead, you justified every wrongdoing that he's doing. Instead of supporting him and guide him towards the right course, that this is the proper protocol for being Kalingap, Unicap, and as a member of Matubang family. Wala kang ginagawang ganun. Ikaw, officer na natugrian, Miss Japina, dapat ikaw namumuno dyan naturuan mo si Romson ng tamang patakaran at tamang pamamaraan ng ating mga UNICAP members. Dahil sa ginagawa mong yan, what did he do the next day? Nag-upload na naman ng bagong video. That means it is disrespecting the Matubang family. So why should, bakit pa si Kuya Bal Santos Matubang gumagawa, nag-implement ng mga grupo para sa PIAN, at kayong mga officer mismo gumagawa ng guidelines, mismong lumapastangan, mismong nag-violate, you violated your own rules, and yet you don't follow it, and you are making someone that favor to you, it's okay. What you're doing is fine. You should be, anong sabi mo, Mr. Japina? Sabi mo, dapat i-promote ang UNICAP. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. And yet, how could every member of the Kalingap support and promote its members when its member, that very member alone, violated the rules and the guidelines of what? UNICAP. I don't think that the guidelines and policies of UNICAP differentiate from the guidelines of the Karipa. That is why ang mga Karipa nag-react. No matter what, Karipa is still above UNICAP. Okay? So, all of them, they have every right to react. And even if Ingrata de Ortiz favoritizing Romson, Ingrata de Ortiz is an independent person which is not part of UNICAP, but she should consider it because she is part of Karipa. She should look into it, and you too should actually set a guideline, set an example how to be followed as a leader of its branches. Di po ba? Ito mainit yata dito. Dali lang po. What is Romson is doing, you had been tolerating it, and you accepted it, and you are promoting it, which is wrong. Maling-mali kayo eh. Maling-mali kayo. Ngayon, antayin nyo ba? Tingnan nyo. Once you are in a group and you are an officer, you have every reason to act upon it. Meron po kayong responsibilidad na magturo ng mga baguhang miyembro sa inyong grupo. Responsibilidad nyo yan, kaya kayong natagurian ng official. Never mind Ingrata, independent siya. Sige, promote nyo na si Romson, fine. But when it comes to be part of UNICAP, it is a different story. That person should be put on the grade level below. Ito Romson, if I were Japina, ito Romson, lahat kayong miyembro ng UNICAP, ito turuan nyo sa Romson, ha? Because that action is never going to be tolerated and is not justifiable by crossing and violating it. Para nyo sinampal si Kuya Bal left and right eh. Wala kayong respeto kay Kuya Bal. Bakit nandyan ang guidelines? Hindi ninyo sinusunod. Kayong mismo mga opisyal. Hindi ninyo sinusunod ang mga guidelines na ina-approve ni Kuya. Kayo pa man ang gumagawa ng guidelines na yan. Eh bakit hindi ninyo ginagawa yan? Bakit hindi niyo itinuturo yan sa mga membro? Dahil ba wala kayong pakialam? Dahil gusto ninyong iasa sa sarili ninyong bangko para sumikat kayo? Ha? Ginagawa ninyo itong isang tao na si Romson na walang alam sa UNICAP, ginagawa ninyong mga instrumento, itong mga Defender Ni Romson. Kung kayo ay talagang may care kay Romson, I see Romson is a good person. I see Romson, makinig ka Romson. Alam ko, maganda ang puso mo. Makinig ka. Bago ka pa lang sa kalinga. Bago ka pa lang nagiging unique ka. Makinig ka sa karamihan sa amin. Makinig ka. Huwag kang magpagamit ng mga defender mo. Seek what is right. Seek what is the right thing to do and ask someone who will help you to be a good kalingap, to be a good unica. And maybe so by then, you will be respected by many and maybe myself. Huwag kang magpagamit. Ginagamit ka as an instrument for them to boost themselves so they can make reactions against us. Against us. Ginagamit. You are a tool for them. You are. You are. Ginagawa kang sakripisyo ng mga defender mo. Think. Okay? Think. Ang sa akin lang, the very person, Michelle Japina, makinig ka po. Napatawan ka ng parusa dahil hindi ka sumusunod sa guidelines ng Karipa. Ngayon, ginagawa mo na naman ito sa Unica. How far will you go? How far will you go? And ruin Bal Santos Matubang's name. How far will you go? Instead of promoting Kuya Bal Santos Matubang, making yourself look good by showing, huy, iba-vlog mo to ha. Ito, Mr. Japina. Ito papayo ko sa'yo. Makinig ka. Imbis yung mga ginagawa mong reaction laban sa mga reactionist, imbis gumagawa ka, again, for the second time, gumagawa ka ng reaction laban sa aming mga reactionist. Ako hindi Karipa, hindi Unica. Okay. Pero kalingap, executive member din ako at executive leader. Eto, makinig ka po. Payo ko sa iyo. Gusto mo bang mahalin ka ng lahat ng mga tao na kulang, maliit na lang mga bashers mo? Pues ito gawin mo. Payo ko sa iyo. Dahil binabas na si Romson, ito yakapin mo, Mr. Japina. Turuan mo ng ABC. Para bagang from kindergarten to grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Turuan mo ng patakaran sa pulisya ng Unica, guidelines ng Unica, at guidelines ng buong kalingap. Maturuan ng tamang pamamaraan at i-vlog mo habang tinuturuan mo ito. Dito ka sisikat, masisikat ka dito, Michelle Japina. Huwag mong ikuan, tawag nito, huwag mong i-justify ang mali. Maling-mali. If I were you, I would never do what you did. So, here. Mga defender, listen. Wala kayong pakialam kay Kuya Bal Santos Matubang dahil malaki ang mga perang inaambag ninyo. Dahil nga pera sa pera, gano'n na ba talaga ang Pilipinas? Nasaan na ang hustisya? Where is justice? So, ano ang halaga na magkaroon pa man? Di, tanggalin na ang mga pulisya sa Unicap. Tanggalin ang pulisya sa Karipa. Kung wala naman bawat isa sa inyong mga opisyal na may respeto laban dyan. Di po ba? Kung wala kayong respeto sa policies and guidelines for when it was implemented and it has been established, okay? Kung wala talaga kayo ni katiting na respeto kay Kuya Bal Santos, then you all have to promote and ask Kuya Bal, demolish the policies, demolish the guidelines because we are not gonna follow it. Because if you say that, then Kuya Bal Santos Matubang will say, if you don't follow it, then you are not Kalingap. Because once you are Kalingap, you will follow. You will follow. Because it's for good for everybody. It is very disappointing na basta na lang piyukin ninyong isang tao. Oy, kayang-kaya nga kasi siyempre naman, kagaya ko, when I was new, no? Sige, yes ma'am, ganyan. Kinig naman akong ganyan. Pero I didn't know that I was used for views. I didn't know I was used. Yes, I was really used for views for whole week. I was used for views. I didn't know being new to Kalingap. And even if I was bashed, I didn't care because don't know, don't know. No one had taught me to be Kalingap. No one had stood in and told me, Marilyn Chang, let me guide you the proper way of how to be Kalingap. Marilyn Chang, let me teach you. This is what Kalingap is actually focusing on. You can do this. You can do this. But you can't do all of that. No one. And yet I was binabato ako left and right. And being accused as kalaban ni Kuya Bal Santos Matubang. Every word I said become twisted and made of. You know what I mean? So, ikaw, Romson, makinig ka. Gamitin mo ang common sense mo. Ginagamit ka ng mga defender mo. Hindi, wag mong pahalagahan na ang mga defender mo ay malalaking tao, malalaking YouTuber, at malalaking mga sponsor, malalaking grupo. Think. You have to take care of yourself. Guard yourself first before guarding others. Isipin mo to, ha? Ginagamit ka. So don't make the same mistake. Refrain yourself from making any more future mistakes and violating its guidelines. I hope na ito, hindi ako nagkakamali sa sinasabi ko ngayong gabi. Pinag-isipan ko, last night, yes, ang dami ninyo, kinakalaban ninyo kami mga reactionists, okay. Nandiyan na kayo. You wanna be part of it? Bawat isa sa inyo? Ha? Gusto mong Michelle Japina, sabi mo, dapat yakapin at i-promote ang Unicap. Tama ka dyan. Oo. Paano naman ipopromote ang isang Unicap kung ang isang Unicap na gusto mong i-promote ay lumalabag sa batas? Its very person you spoke of have violated its rules and guidelines. How do you expect all of us Kalingap to support that and promote it? So, please explain it to me. In a very sensible way, in a very intelligible words, then I will listen and I will listen. Because it does not make sense, any of it, for me. Di po ba? It does not make any sense for me. Explain it to me in a very intelligible words to where I can understand you better. Help me understand you. Because the way you're portraying it, you are justifying this person's fault. Pinipiyok nyo. Don't say anything. Let me handle and let me give reaction to these people. Pinipiyok nyo. Give him the freedom to speak and also refrain him from speaking na tinitreat kaming ipatulpo dahil walang tulpuhan dito sa Kalingap. Kalingap ito eh. We have rules. And if you violate the rules itself, mapapahiya ka dahil you violated it. O ba? Huwag niyo i-challenge kaming mga reactionist. Romson, maghunos dili ka. Bago ka magbitaw ng salita at maging balat sibuyas, pag-isip-isipin mo muna ang mga bawat sinasabi ko ngayong gabi. Galing na ako sa katayuan mo. Ginagamit ako. Okay. I am warning you. Beware of yourself and your surrounding. High up your fences. Don't rely on the big fences when it is weak behind it. Ay, nako. Oo. Gusto mong magpasikat, Michelle Japina, gusto mong lumakas ang image mo, ang imahe mo dito sa Kalingap, na muli kang mamahalin ng karamihan, imbes na ibabas ka ng iba, no? Yakapin mo si Romson. Turuan mo ng magandang galang. Paanong sumunod sa patakaran. Magsilbi kang mamumuno dyan. Kung wala man, ewan ko kung sino ang namumuno dyan sa UNICAP. I don't know who is the officers. I know you are one. Okay? Pero like, Karipa, alam ko kung sino presidente, secretary. Wala akong alam dyan sa UNICAP kung sino ang namumuno dyan. Dahil kung may president man kayo sa UNICAP, dapat ikaw pinagsabihan na rin. Pero kinukondon yata itong lahat ng mga ginagawa mo na lumalabag din mismo sa batas ng kalingap ng UNICAP. Gusto mong gumanda ang imahe mo, pues ito payo ko sa'yo, gumawa ka ng paraan na i-let itong si Romson, i-let him out. Okay? Gawan mo ng paraan. While you're doing that, i-vlog mo na itong ginagawa mo, tinuturuan mo siya na, yung halimbawa, nag-uusap kayo na ito hindi bawal kalabanin ang Karipa, kung hindi man lang magpapaalsa sa kanila, kung hindi man lang nag-a-uplift, no? Bawal yan, bawal kalabanin ang mga, lalong-lalo na bawal kalabanin ang mga executive kasi yan ang mga ating mga sponsor. Turuan mo. Na, yan. Ang, ito, ha? Ito payo ko sa iyo, Michelle. Dahil mas bata ka sa akin eh. Kung ako sa'yo, ang gagawin ko, iba-vlog ko ang pagtuturo ko kay Romson. Dahil, ano siya, tawag dito si Romson ay may potential talaga. Ako mismo, pwede akong mag-sponsor kay Romson. Basta nasa tamang landas lang siya sa kalingap at sumusunod sa batas ng UNICAP at kalingap at lahat na. Ituro mo to. Ganito gawin mo, Michelle, ha? Ito turo lang talaga. Sabihin mo kay Romson, ito ang patakaran ng UNICAP o kalingap. Sabi ni Kuya Bal. Karipa at UNICAP, nagpuproteksyon yan ng mga executive group. We are the protector of the executive group. Why? Ipaintindi mo, dahil sila ay mga sponsor. Kung mawawala ang ating mga sponsor, patay tayo. O, ipaintindi mo bakit. O, yan ha. Ngayon, sabihin mo, ang Karipa naman, nag-i-sponsor sa ating mga UNICAP at ang executive group, nag-i-sponsor din yan sa UNICAP. Kung sino makitaan na maganda ang gawa, baka ma-sponsoran ka at yung iba dyan. Ituro mo yan. Okay? Ngayon, ang trabaho ng UNICAP ay magbablog, pumupunta sa mga field, pumupunta sa mga malayo, maghahanap ng mga nangangailangan. Ito, ha? Ngayon, sabihin mo rin kay Romson. Romson, makinig ka. Ha? Kayo namang mga UNICAP members, ha? Magpapakita din kayo na nagsusumikap na kahit papaano nagbibigay ng konti kasi para maaawa ang yung mga sponsor, ang mga executive group. I-vlog mo yan. Mismo, one-on-one. They called it JOT, Job on Training. Job on Training mo si Romson Michelle Japina. Imbis na magbigay ka ng negative reaction towards us, towards all of the Karipa. That's not the right move. And you are tolerating a wrongdoing. You are justifying, which is never justifiable and it's not going to be tolerated. If it will be tolerated, then why? Why should we follow? Why should just get rid of the guidelines of UNICAP and Karipa at all? Get rid of everything. If you do not have any single respect for the Matubang family, all of you UNICAP officers, listen. Malabas na yung ano ko, because I meant every word I said. I meant every word I said. Be a good leader. Be a good example. Walk them to the proper way. To how we become respectful as being UNICAP, respectful as being Kalingap. And then, maybe then, that most of us Kalingap will agree with you and yakap you, hug you, and love you for the great things that you do, for being a good teacher to those new members. But you failed to do that, Mr. Japina. Why don't you start doing it? From me, advice ko sa iyo. At kayo dyan, ibang defender, you think that it is okay. It's never okay because you are not inside Unicap. You don't respect the law. Regardless, sabi ni Nikki, may kanya-kanya tayong pag-iisip. Yes, may kanya-kanya tayong pag-iisip from outside, Kalingap. But once you join Kalingap, you are bound to follow its rules because you wanted to join. Likewise, if you want to go to work and apply for a job on a company, you're a different person, but you come into this company and company say, this is my rules. You are bound to follow the rules and you submit to it. Correct? Correct? Tama ba ako? You have to completely change your mentality from outside to inside. You have to be adjustable. If your heart is in it, then be with it. Be with it po. Okay? Kahit anong sabihin ni Chulba, kahit anong sabihin ni Ingrata de Ortiz, they are not part, Chulba is not part of Caripa, Chulba is not part of Unicap. Freely he can say something about it. But Ingrata de Ortiz is not completely free. She's with Caripa. And if she doesn't want to be with Caripa, then she have to quit from Caripa. Then she can freely say something to defend Romson. Romson, makinig ka. This is for your own good coming from me. I've been there and done that. Listen to me well. What I have learned from my past is a lot. Now I can advise you, whether you like it or not, whether you listen to me or not, Romson. Ito. First and foremost, respect the Matubang family. Ito naaral ko, no? Second, learn what Matubang family guidelines with its members. Number 2. Third, fellowshipping, the fellowship of the believers within the Matubang group, which is the charity. All of us are charity bloggers. All of us are charity sponsors. So, learn from each other. Imbis na magiging independent ka, you're on your own, masyado ka matapang, mapatulpo ka, meron kang defender malalaki. What if yung defender mo mag-fail? What will become of you? What will become of you? Think. You have to high up your face. And you have to actually listen from the ground up. Huh? Pag-aralan mo mga hakbang ng mga matubang. Pag-aralan mo ang mga patakaran ng mga matubang. Pag-aralan mo ang guidelines at pulisya ng mga ating branches. We have 3 branches, Romson. Kasi hindi ito tinuturo ni Michelle Japina sa iyo, ni Ingrata de Ortiz at Chulba. Basta ka na lang ipinasok. Basta ka na lang dinala doon sa daet para maging Unicap just instantaneously, and yet you don't know nothing about Unicap and all the Kalingap members to what the rules that we all followed for all the Kalingap that actually love Kuya Bal, no? We are all, the true Kalingap are all 100% plus more that we give out. And we believed and we followed every day. You stop watching other YouTube when Kuya Bal actually speaks in live views, okay, live streaming, because you want to learn from it. You are actually had to, if you want to be part of Kalingap. This is one of the rules. Makinig ka, Romson. Ito payo ko sa iyo. At ito kayo mga defender na akala nyo okay lang. Dipindihan ninyo mga mali. Mga mali kayo to begin with eh. Hmm? Sino tama ka, Peritayam? Sino nagbigay sa iyo ng kapangyarihan, naging UNICAP member ka, hindi si Ingrata de Ortiz, hindi si Churba, hindi ang mga UNICAP, kundi si Kuya Bal Santos Matubang. So why should not follow Kuya Bal Santos Matubang's rules, Romson? And why should not listen to Karipa, which is created by Kuya Bal Santos Matubang? Kuya Bal Santos Matubang himself created Karipa, and these are the reactions that you should actually seek advice on, even when you are becoming or became UNICAP. Mali ang hakbang nyo eh. O sige, sige, magsalita kayo mga defender. Am I wrong or am I right? Because I said to myself, hindi ako papasok dito kung hindi naman tama ang mga sinasabi ko. If I am wrong, I'm sorry. I apologize for the things that I said, or I overstepped everything that I said. But the bottom of the line is, you got to learn the steps and the guidelines set apart by Kuya Bal. And you have to actually, Romson, respect Kuya Bal before you respect your defender. Kung sino man sila, you got, if I have to say, you better kiss Kuya Bal Santos Matubang's ass. Yan. Halikan mo na ang puwete, Kuya Bal Santos Matubang, if yan, prangkahan na tayo. Kasi siyan si Kuya Bal Santos Matubang, ang mismong nagpapalakad ng lahat. I am not a lawyer. I am not an attorney. Reactionists within Kalingap are just like attorneys. We are going to speak about what you act. We are going to call on your mistakes. We are going to praise all the good deeds that you do. And we are going to reward you as a sponsor if you did great. So what wrong did I say in here? I don't think so. I don't think so. The very, very thing that makes me mad right now is this people who are in UNICAP and being an officer and did not follow its rules. Yan talagang galit ako dyan. Ito talaga, ito ang kinagalit ko. But I'm not going to let that ruin my night for that. Sorry. Because when I am speaking to people on live stream, I give my emotions. But after that, I am back to normal person. When I'm speaking every word, hugot puso yan, hugot puso yan, hugot puso. Kahit na sabihin ninyo, oh galit sa mali, hindi ako galit. But what I say in here comes from my heart and I meant it. I meant it. Hindi ako galit. I don't like people disrespecting, violating the laws that they themselves created it. O, yan. Di po ba? Oh. Mag-summer time na dito. Spring season, masyadong mainit kaya. No, guys. If I come across being angry, I'm not angry about in general. The only reasons that I am angry is only one specific thing. Is yung mga tao na naatasang naging official po sa isang grupo at hindi sumusunod doon sa mismong grupo na yan. Na mismong yung tao na yan kasamang gumagawa ng rules pero hindi sinusunod. Ano ang halaga na gumagawa ka ng hustisya para dyan sa isang grupo at hindi mo rin sinusunod at imbis na ituwid mo yan, nire-reward mo pa ang taong nagkamali that violated its rules. How do you explain that? Paano mo i-explain yan? Okay, paki-explain nga po. Paki-explain lang po. Okay. Kung ikaw ay isang UNICAP official and you don't know how to discipline your members, how do you discipline your members if you don't even know how to begin acting on it? How do you become an officer if you don't have the knowledge to discipline your people? Wala akong tinitira dito, Marilyn Lucring. Ang sinasabi ko lang, na kailangan, kung maatasan ka man maging official ng UNICAP, official ha, kagaya ng KGGI, may mga official ako. Okay? May mga official ko. Bawat isa sa kanila, tinuturuan ko yan. Ito gawin mo. You have, kagaya ng sekretarya, no? Sabi niya, madam, ito ganyan nangyari. O, gawin mo yan. Right away po. So, ginagawa yan. So, in the same thing, pag meron po kayong business, halimbawa, explain ko sa inyo. Kung meron po kayong business, may-ari kayo ng negosyo, expect nyo po na ang ginagawa ninyong manager sa negosyo mo, sa tindahan mo, or company, that will set guidelines. And that guidelines that are being implemented by you as the owner will follow it through. Ngayon, makikita mo ang manager mo. Ito, elaborate ko ha. Makikita mo ang iyong mga secretary, ano ba tawag dito? Basta mga official sila sa company mo, no? Tapos nakikita mo na ginagawa mo mismong regulations sa kumpanya mo, binabiolate ng bawat isa ng mga miyembro. Papayag ka ba? Papayag ka ba? Papayag ba kayo? Papayag ba kayo? Ay, hindi pa ako tapos kay muta-muta. Ito susunod kong live yan. Papayag ba kayo na ang mismong ginagawa ninyo as a business owner, that you are actually assigning someone to manage for your business to progress and be respected and to bloom, and yet being disrespected by every employees because they don't care about the rules that you made so that it can progress your business. Ito ba? Ito ha. Last word sa iyo, Romson. Makinig ka. Alagaan mo ang sarili mo. Alam ko mabuti kang tao. Alam ko maganda ang puso mo. Okay? Focus ka sa pagbablog. Pero itawid mo ang sarili mo doon from vlogging Mylene to somewhere else and something else. Oo, nakikita ko yung taong putol ang arm, no? Romson. Nakaawa ako doon. So, I'm thinking, Romson, makinig ka, I'm thinking, but I will not act on it. The reason why? Because you are leaning on someone that is depending you for doing something that is wrong. Okay. Well, kung ikaw, Romson, hindi ka makikinig, kung masyado kang arrogant sa sarili mo, bahala ka na. Huwag mong antayin na si Kuya Bal mismo magsalita sa iyo. Alam mo si Kuya Bal, pag nagsalita yan, hindi diretsahan yan eh. Doon sa ilis niya ipapalagay yan eh. Mapapahiya ka eh. Kasi nga kaming mga gorlets, kaming mga matatanda, napahiya kami eh. Nilagay kami sa gorlets. Nilagay kami sa ilis si Kuya Bal. Hindi ka pergahin ni Kuya Bal. Oy, Romson, ganyan ka. Hindi. Titirahin ka ni Kuya Bal sa kanyang ilis. Maniwala ka sa akin. Mark my word. Romson, mark my word. Ikaw ang mapapahamak dito, hindi mga defender mo. Okay. Ha? Ikaw. Huwag mong antayin na bubulungan ka ni Kalinga Prab. Huwag mong antayin. 1, 2, 3 strikes. Mapapatawan ka po ng parusa. May parusa po. Okay? That you will not be able to vlog or you will not be able to be participating with Kalingap. Marami po, may parusa po yan. Kaya nga sabi ko, Romson, tingnan mo ang guidelines ng UNICAP at pag-aralan mo kaming lahat. Okay po, sana maliwanag ito. At ikaw, Michelle Japina, kung gusto mong i-promote ang sarili mo, tulungan mo si Romson. Imbis na disagree ka sa mga karamihan naming mga reactionist. Imbis na payuhan mo, oy, naku, bawal yung sasabi mo, patulpo-tulpo ka. Ay, ano nga ipapatulpo niya sa amin? Okay? Kasi, akala ni Romson, pakinggan siya ni Tulpo, baka mapahiya naman siya. Po ba? Baka mapahiya siya. Dahil, one against so many, you are going to lose, Romson. So, don't you ever dare threaten us. Threaten all of us, reactionists. Trabaho namin mga reactionist ito. If you get into Kalingap, kung sasali ka, sasabi ka sa aming Kalingap, listen, trabaho namin ito mga Kalingap. I'm not here to make views. No. Kasi magkano lang kinikita ko, Leche? Aprangkano to? Ay, magkano lang kinikita ko? Eh, sige nga, sabihin na natin, last month kumikita nga ako na 300, almost $400. Okay. That's nothing to me. Oh, this month, magkano lang kinikita ko? $145. Diyos ko. Para sa akin, that's nothing. I just wanna be able to help, sponsor, at magbigay ng reaction dito. Because I am going to make sure that those people who are actually in a wrong side, I can give them awareness that what you do is wrong. At pwede ko naman siguro turuan ng konti, no? Yeah. So dito lang po tayo magtatapos po. Bye po. Banatan kita muta. Darating ngayon. Okay?